Bonjour! Sorry, I'm trying out my German. I think I'm losing something in the translation. How are you doing? Everything here is great. Very happy to be here. Glad that you're here. I may have done this wrong, or at least not the way I wanted it to. If there's one thing you can say about TikTok and Instagram, is that it's really weird, you know? I mean, I'm a weird person, and I know you're getting anxiety right now, and I apologize. I'm just trying to get a thin slice of this, and let me tell you, these were not built for thin slices. They're just weird places in general. A new thing has spawned, or maybe it's not new, maybe it's just been since I've been looking at coffee feeds and whatnot more lately, because they've just been popping up and I've been watching them. And if you stop and watch for 5 seconds, you're now in the algorithm to watch it all the time. Cat videos, coffee, and exotic cars and old cars and places that detail cars dominate the list of things. But what I've got here is I've got key limes left from my key lime pie. People have been putting citrus stuff in their coffees, and if you'd asked me about 2 years ago, I'd have been like, that sounds horrible. What a terrible thing to do. Pass me the Keurig. I've gotten past that. And of course, with the key lime chaos that I've been drinking, the orange tangerine chocolate coffee that I had at Christmas time, and so on and so forth, you know, citrus actually is a neat flavor that goes interestingly with coffee. So what I wanted to do, I've got this Kicking Horse coffee that my good friends and Matt's relatives got me for Christmas. That's really nice, actually. It's got a nice smell, got a good taste to it. I'm gonna grind that medium. I'm gonna kind of line the sides of this. I debated on whether I wanted to do this with the Chemex or with the Clever, because the Clever steeps, and this is just basically a pass-through. I thought, you know, if I put them down here at the bottom, and try to make it so it doesn't quite interfere with getting down into the funnel, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. I mean, you can kind of see what I want to do here. I want to try to leave a hole at the bottom. Maybe we'll just use the bigger pieces here and try. And again, like I said, I'm trying not to clog, but that might not work. But we're going to give it a try. I'm going to put it at the bottom there, and we're going to apply this at a medium grind, a medium 20 grind, right down the center. And we're going to see if 30 grams of coffee, a little twisty tie bar thing did a lot of good, didn't it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got a nice little savory smell to it. Almost a little salty. And do my normal bean escape. About 32 grams, which I hit pretty well right there. And yeah, somebody did with an orange. I've never seen anyone do it with a lemon. It's always been like oranges, which, you know, I can appreciate a tasty orange. Just like I can appreciate a nice tasty lemon sometimes. But limes are definitely, in between the lemon and lime thing, you know, I would really rather have a lime if I were to eat. If I were to eat a sour citrus fruit, it'd be a lime. But if I were to eat something nice and sweet, of course, it would be an orange. But I have limes, so I thought we would try this weird thing, and I would see if I could get any taste out of it, if I could get anything out of it. Because like I said, if it were like, even if it were in a steeper, I don't think it would steep long enough to break down any membranes in there. You would almost have to pre-squeeze into the paper, which if I leave the slices down in there, but apply some lime juice just to the paper, and it will be just enough to soak into the paper, you know? This is how you find all of the little scratches and imperfections in your fingers and thumbs, because I just found one. And then putting citrus down like citrus peels down your garbage disposal, if you have a nice, decent garbage disposal, can brighten up the smell. I've done it with lemons. I've done it with big limes. I've done it with orange peels. These things are so tough and fibrous. I wouldn't put them down the garbage disposal. I did put them down the garbage disposal, and it really screwed the garbage. I had to pull some of the membrane out and some of the skin. And the pith in here. Ow, there's that spot again. They don't grind up very well, and it could take like several grinds, and it could mess up your garbage disposal. So don't put key limes down your garbage disposal. There's my tip for the day. That's going. Got a little bit of time left. I'm going to hit this, and then we're going to experiment. They always talk about like medium fine or medium coarse. They never really talk about medium. And I think it's because medium as a qualifier in this kind of a thing is very subjective. Medium can be between like, I would almost say 15 on this grinder and 25. So, I mean, it's a very subjective thing. I mean, I would call this a medium grind. It's down the middle, you know, which is fine. And then you get, not fine, but medium. And then, you know, you get further down the line, you get finer and finer and finer, or you get coarser and coarser and coarser. There's a point where it is very fine or very coarse. Medium fine or medium coarse is a very broad term, a phrase. So, you know, when someone says grind it to medium fine, that means, you know, you can be a little bit, you don't have to be exact. Or if they say medium coarse, you know, you don't have to be exact. If they say medium, that might be a little bit of a weird trouble area. So that's why they probably say medium fine or medium coarse more often than just medium. So, because medium, as I said, it's kind of subjective. Some people would not call that medium. I would call that a medium grind. So I'm going to put you here. Let me see how much I get back here. Probably got all of it back, I would assume. Yep, 32 grams. I had 32.4, but we're at 32 grams now. This is gonna be weird. I guarantee. If I had a prediction, though, it would probably be that I wouldn't taste much at all. It may up the, well, I mean, it will up the acidity a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to get like a lime taste. I think it's just going to be buried underneath. I mean, the notes on this, and I told you the last time, the notes on this are cheeky, bright, and precocious. And, you know, when you start getting cutesy with your notes, rather than being like direct with what you tasted, I mean, what does precocious taste like? I don't think I want to know. I think I'm fine without knowing what a cheeky taste is. No. So we're going with, it tastes like a nice coffee that had a nice savory, almost salty kind of taste to it, flavor to it. So what we're going to do now is I've got my water. It's up to temperature. I'm going to put in about 400. We're going to give it a swirl. We're going to see what happens. And then we're going to let it drain, and then we're going to taste. So let's get that started here. Okay, so right off the bat, I've gone too much for the blooming, but we will let it bloom. Let it bloom for about 30 seconds. Came out kind of funny. It actually came out kind of fast to begin with. And it felt like I needed more water to get to that initial amount of water that I wanted for the bloom. So that's kind of why I went too far. And I looked down and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look like the right amount of water grams wise for what I put in there. But it was. So I guess we'll see how this turns out. I may just change the profile of the coffee completely because, I mean, in lots of different aspects, you know. So, but we're going to get up to about 400 here. The swirling agitates the bed, keeps all of the coffee kind of churning and flowing, and so we get every little bit of coffee that was down at the bottom to kind of churn itself up, so everything gets wetter, gets a little bit more aerated. I'm going to take it down here. Give it a little bit of a swirl. Try to even out the bed. I don't know if an even bed is a foregone conclusion because there are pieces of literal lime, key lime in there. But we'll see what happens. There's already a weird lump right there, which is really kind of strange. I don't quite understand the lump. I would have figured the limes themselves would have been heavy enough to stay at the bottom, especially since they're covered in coffee now. Because I did leave the lime wedges in there, or the lime slices. I took the lime wedges and kind of doused the paper on either side. It just absorbed in the paper. It didn't go through. So I guess I can smell lime. That's a good sign. And like I said, I've already discovered, at least through the infusion process with regards to Bones Coffee, infusing it with a citrusy flavor like lime actually gives the coffee not only a different taste, but a fun, delicious flavor. So I'll be very interested to see if this is something that I should... And they also said you should add salt. Like a little bit of salt, and not just like salt, like grain salt, but like mix it into a solution, and there's like ratios to the solution, and then just put dropper into the coffee to enhance some of the flavors. This is about a 3-minute drawdown, including the so about 2.5 minute drawdown, not including the bloom phase, which tells me that the lime wedges, or the lime halves, I keep calling them wedges, they're not wedges, they're slices. The lime slices did not affect the drawdown in any way, shape, or form. They weren't in the way, which is a good thing. And putting it in the paper also did not affect, at least on a physical level, how the coffee passed through. To be honest, the taste of that lime probably washed away within 5 to 7 seconds, because it was just 3 small little wedges squirted onto each side. So, all right. So we got about 3.5 minutes. We are still dripping, which is good. We'll probably end this process now. There we go. So about 3.5 minutes until it started dripping better. Can definitely smell it. Okay. Now, that's probably a lie. Because when I put the paper in and I put it around the paper, I'm probably getting a lot of lime. Yes. There's a lot of lime right here. So I can definitely smell it here because it's right there. So that's the only reason I can really smell it clearly. I can't vouch for what's in the coffee, at least yet. So yeah, so I mean the lime juice is stuck here. So, which, could also help enhance the flavor because it was stuck there. We are going to find out as we pour it into our cup. Nice, nice, nice. Let's see. A hint, a small little hint of the lime is definitely there. It's not up my nose. It's completely out of my nose. I can't smell lime now. I can smell a little lime now. And the color's really nice. The color didn't change. Let's see if I get any of it. The answer is yes. It pulls back on the little saltiness a little bit. It definitely deadened that. Yeah, there's definitely a more limey, citrusy kind of kick that I did not get from this the first time, I do believe. It was definitely more of a savory, almost bacony kind of flavor. But yeah, okay. Yeah, it's getting more and more strong as I'm sipping. That's fascinating. I wonder how it would work with an orange. Maybe we'll find that out like tomorrow. Maybe I'll go out and get an orange. We can go out tonight and surprise shopping again, and I can pull out an orange and we can try an orange slice. That might be interesting. I mean, they did it in everything. They did it in pour-overs. They did it in espresso. One person put it on top of the puck and put it in the espresso machine, which I would not suggest. I'm sure in the end everything came out, but my gosh, the amount of twisting and turning of knobs and figuring out timings and pressures and stuff in order to get it to not only pass through a bed of coffee, but an orange on top of it, that just seems kind of dangerous. So, or time consuming at the very least, but definitely dangerous because you're still working with a lot of pressures, and if stuff doesn't seal up right, you're going to get really hot, superheated hot water all over you, all over the counter, all over anything around the counter, and maybe damage the machine. So I certainly wouldn't suggest doing that, even though we sometimes see it on Instagram. I don't watch TikTok. I watch TikTok videos through Instagram and Facebook when people decide to post TikTok videos on Instagram and Facebook. I've never been on TikTok, and that's not something to be proud of. It's just something that I've never done because I just don't. It's just like Vine. I watched Vines back in the day. TikTok just seems like less of an outlaw land and more of a waste land. So, but that's neither here nor there. Try if you have any kind of citrus and you use a Chemex, or maybe even use a Clever. Try the Clever, I guess. I mean, the water came through the coffee came through very quickly. I mean, I was afraid it was going to gum up the works. It didn't gum anything up. Everything passed through the way it should have passed through. So that's a good sign. And I will say, regular, plain, roasted, I think this is Arabica. Does it say it on here? It's a precocious Arabica. It really doesn't say, does it? I feel like it should. I mean, it's all on the website, but that's still, really, your bag should have what kind of coffee is in it. It does not. They're Canadian. That's nice. Fair trade. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, this is actually incredibly interesting and pretty tasty. If you like citrus notes, I mean, in a medium roast, if you would like some extra citrus notes, I would suggest, and you like key limes, I would suggest getting a key lime, giving it a slice, squirting the ends on the inside of the paper. If you like coffee and you like lime, I mean, this is a really interesting and delicious flavor. For me, give it a try if you feel like it. Thanks for watching today. Somber note, I lost a really good friend over the weekend. He was in his 70s, had been suffering for a while with many different ailments, was a Vietnam veteran, and was part of Operation Agent Orange, which is why I think he went on permanent disability at like age 26. One of the very fortunate ones that the Army didn't let go, you just slip through their fingers with regards to like medical care. Received a transfusion for bone and lung cancers last year that prolonged his life probably another year. So he was able to have another Christmas with his family. And Bill was a really cool dude. He just was. He was a Marine. Said the Marine Corps saved his life. He raised quarter horses. He was at Nationwide for a very long time. Worked with the computers a long time ago. Like I said, went on, maybe it was in his 30s, he went on permanent disability. He's had like several heart attacks, at least one stroke. But Bill was a friend, and unfortunately he passed away, and his services are today. So this one is for Bill. It was very wonderful to know you in the very short time. He was one of the first people that moved into this community in 2019. We soon followed like 2 or 3 months later. So we were like the first people in this community, but he was the first. He and his wife were the first in this community. So yeah, I will miss Bill. We went out to dinner quite a few times as a group, and told me stories, and was very proud of all of his family. And I will miss him very much. He was a very kind soul. So up to the very end. So thank you, Bill. Have a great day, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.